In the beginning, there was the smoke signal, a primitive yet effective form of communication that spanned continents and cultures. Then came the carrier pigeon, the telegraph, and the telephone. Each step along the way marked a significant leap in the way human beings connected with one another. At the dawn of the 20th century, a new era dawned, the era of mobile communication. The first mobile telephones were not what we'd recognize as cell phones today. They were hefty, cumbersome devices that required a substantial amount of power to operate. In the early 1970s, an engineer named Martin Cooper, working for Motorola, saw a future where communication was not bound by wires or stationary objects. He envisioned a world where individuals could carry their phones with them, a world of truly mobile communication. In 1973, Cooper made the first mobile telephone call, ushering in an era that would forever change how we communicate. The first generation of cell phones, known as 1G, arrived in the early 1980s. They were large, expensive, and had limited battery life. But they were also revolutionary. They allowed people to make and receive calls from almost anywhere. The second generation, or 2G, arrived in the early 90s. These devices were smaller, more affordable, and introduced the concept of text messaging. This was a game changer, allowing people to communicate silently and efficiently. The turn of the millennium brought with it the third generation of cell phones. 3G phones were not just communication devices, they were multimedia devices. They allowed for video calling, mobile TV, and internet access. By the time the fourth generation, or 4G, arrived in the late 2000s, cell phones had transformed into smartphones. They were no longer just for calls and texts, they were for emails, social media, music, and so much more. The smartphone had become an essential part of our everyday lives. Now, in the 2020s, we're on the cusp of the fifth generation, or 5G. This new generation promises faster speeds, more reliable connections, and the ability to connect everything from our cars to our fridges to the internet. To summarize, cell phones have come a long way since their inception in the 1970s. From hefty, expensive devices that were a luxury for the few, to slim, powerful devices that are a necessity for the many. They've transformed from simple communication devices to multimedia powerhouses. And as we stand on the brink of the 5G era, one can't help but wonder what the future holds. Will we see a world where everything is connected? A world where our phones are not just devices but extensions of ourselves? Only time will tell. But one thing is for certain, the evolution of the cell phone is a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of better, faster, and more efficient ways to connect with one another.